All right, good afternoon and welcome to our last workshop in session 2 of Outdoor Investigators. I'm your host, Agent Juliana. Over the last 3 weeks, we brought you information that helped you become a certified investigator. We are all on Zoom, so there is some Zoom etiquette that I would like to share with you. First, be sure to be on speaker view. You will get the most out of this workshop when you have your device on speaker view and not gallery view. Second, be sure to stay on mute. We will unmute at the end and have an opportunity to talk and share. Got a question? Type it in the chat box. Can't type it in the chat box? No worries. There will be time to ask all questions at the end of the workshop when we break into chat time. You can also take notes and write down your question so you can remember to ask it. Last, please note that this workshop is being recorded and may be used for future educational programming. You and your parent or guardian completed a waiver consenting to the recording. If you have any concerns with being recorded or do not wish to be recorded, please be sure to keep your video camera off and your audio muted. Now is the time to tell us in the chat your name, your first and last name, and if you were here last week, answer the poll on birds. What should we observe when trying to identify a bird? Is it the bird habitat, the bird shape, or the bird color? All right, now I'm going to share a poll with you. All right, so what do you think? Is it the bird habitat, bird shape, bird color, or all of the above? All right, we do have some answers rolling in. Has everyone got their poll answers in? I'll give it just a few more seconds. Okay, and now I'll share the results. Great job, everyone. You got it right. It is all of the above. We're going to look for the bird habitat, the bird color, and the bird shape. There we go. Let's investigate who we are. We are a group of University of Florida educators who work in your community to teach about gardening, youth development skills, wellness, nature, water, and more. We are all Gators and we use university research as the foundation for everything we teach. You are almost a certified investigator. After you have participated today, just send us your skills and we will send you our Investigator Kit that will help you explore the outdoors all summer long. To receive the kit, you must have attended all 3 workshops today, June 23rd and June 30th, and you must have shared with us your skills. You must choose at least 3 skills to share with us. There is still an opportunity for you to show us your skills. This week, like every week, we will learn many new skills. You can share your new skills with us through photos, videos, writings, and art. You will share these items through an online folder sharing program called Dropbox. To become an investigator, you will need to upload at least 3 things that showcase your skills. I will send an email with instructions on how to use Dropbox to the person who registered. Actually, I think Agent Abby will send that email, but you can also simply email Agent Abby as well. Today is all about rainwater. Can you name the body of water that gets all the rainwater from your roof, driveway, and neighborhood roads? Type your answer in the chat box. Can Agent Sarah or Agent Abby read out some of the answers we're getting in the chat box?
Looks like people are still thinking. We have an I don't know for my daughter who's sitting here.
So the question is, where does all that rainwater go? Can you name the river or the creek or the lake that it might go to? Do you know? And it's okay if you don't, because the whole point is for me to tell you about it. Oh, I see some people asking their parents.
We have Philippi Creek, the Gulf.
All right, the Gulf. That's a good answer because everything's going to end up in the Gulf eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Layla and Luke.
All right.
Ian said Manatee River. Good job, Ian. We got some more answers of the Gulf, and someone said the Manatee River. Great job.
Three Sisters Spring, if you live around that area.
You're so lucky, but also you need to be super careful. All right, we got 4 answers of the golf. Thanks, Juliana.
No problem. All right, here are your 3 opportunities to share this week. You do not have to do them all. Just do the ones that you are most excited about. Your first opportunity to share is to become a stormwater sleuth. Agent Abby will teach you how to do this. Be creative. The structure of the workshop today is we will first hear from Agent Abby on where all our rain goes. Agent Abby will give us new investigator skills that we can use in our neighborhood. After, Agent Sarah will give us a look at how we can apply our new skills in an activity, experiment, or art project. Our last presenter will give us tips on how to stay healthy investigators during this time. Let's get started. First, we are going to start with Agent Abby, who will teach us where our rainwater goes and how to investigate in the rain. Take it away, Agent Abby.
Thank you. Thank you, Agent in Training Juliana. I'm so excited to be here and be able to share with you my love of water. So I hope you're ready for this overwhelming sense of love of water. Do you know why water is so important? Because it makes us so unique, right? The Earth is super unique because we're the only planet in this multiverse with water. Water is what makes us unique and special, and it's also very important to the existence of all life, right? So let's get started. But first, I want to introduce you to my friend named Freddie. He's a fish. And Freddie wants to tell you something, okay? So turn up your volumes. Let's see if you can hear the video of my friend Freddie.
Hi there, I'm Freddie. Welcome to my home. Sorry about all the mess. It may be raining up there, but down here, I'm dodging litter. Have you ever seen litter in the creek, river, or lake and wondered how it got there? I used to, and then I discovered that it gets carried here with the stormwater. What is stormwater, you ask? Stormwater is simply rainwater after it hits the ground. Easy enough. Okay, who knows what this is? That's a storm drain. What about this? Yep, another storm drain. You see, a storm drain's job is to keep the streets from flooding when it rains. But where does all that water go? Storm drains carry the water away from the streets and parking lots into the nearest creek, river, or lake, which is where I live. Now, these drains are different from the drains inside your home that carry wastewater from your sink, shower, and toilet. Those drains connect to pipes that go into the sewer system and to a huge cleaning facility where the water is cleaned and treated before it's released into the stream. But storm drains send water straight into the creek, river, or lake. That water doesn't get cleaned. These two drains are not the same. Only rain should go down the storm drain. Say that with me. Only rain down the storm drain. 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 Only rain down the storm drain.
All right, so what should go down the storm drain? Only rain down the storm drain. Thank you, Freddie. So Freddie wants to make sure that we know that only rain should go down the storm drain because he doesn't want to dodge trash. But what is rain? Have you ever stopped to think about what is rain? So because I'm a water scientist, I want to dive deep about what is rain. Okay, so we know what water is, right? It's the molecules of hydrogen, 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen, right? H2O. And hydrogen is the lightest element, right? And so because it's so light, it can float up into the air. It's lighter than it's lighter than all the other elements. So what exactly is rain? Is H2O, and it's really light. So when water evaporates, right, it goes up into the air, and then once it gets in the air, other raindrops start forming around it. They start getting stuck together. It gets really heavy, and then it rains. We'll talk more about that in just a second. first let's think, how much rain do we get? Does anybody know how much rain we get? Go ahead and type in the chat box if you have any idea how much rain we get every year. So on a yearly basis, how much rain do you think we get? All right, I see some people coming in. Agent Sarah, I can't see the responses.
So inches are gallons. We have 7 inches, 50 inches, 10 inches, about 10 feet maybe.
All right, this is good. So yeah, definitely inches or feet. Let's think about it in inches or feet. All right, so the answer is 5 feet. And this is what 5 feet of water looks like. Or another way of saying 5 feet in inches would be around 60 inches a year, right? So does it all fall at once like this? And this is what our yards look like after the year? So at the end of the year, we go out and we're like, whoa, we got 5 feet of rain. Now our garages are covered. No, thankfully, that's not what happens. All that water goes somewhere. And also, we don't get the rain all at once, right? So we really have 2 seasons. We have a dry season and a wet season in Florida. And during our wet season, which is June, July, August, September, we're in that now, right? We get 60% or more of all the rainfall each year happening in those 4 months. The other 8 months, we only get 40% of that 5 feet. So most of the 5 feet comes in 4 months. But luckily, it doesn't all just float up to our driveways and go to our garages, right? Instead, where does it go? Well, we can learn from the hydrologic cycle exactly where the water goes, right? So rain comes down as precipitation, and then depending on where it falls on, if it falls on a tree, the tree intercepts it. That means it catches it, and it can move the water back into the air. It can move it deep into the ground, or it can fall on grass, and that grass intercepts it, right? And it can move into the ground via the roots of the grass. It could also run into a river or a lake. And then eventually it all goes down to the bay. And then, as some of you already said, the Gulf, right? So everything's going to end up in the Gulf eventually. So the biggest source of rain is the ocean. So most of the water that's evaporated off the earth is evaporated from the ocean. When the sun heats the ocean, the water gets warm, and then the water starts to evaporate. So it turns from a liquid into a gas, right? And remember, hydrogen is one of the lightest gases, so it floats way up high. It can float against all those other elements in the sky. And once it gets up there, it starts condensing, right? So you have all that water vapor that then condenses and then grows bigger because they're all condensing at the same time in the same area, and then you can get a big cloud. So guess what? Scientists went up to the sky and they interviewed a cloud to ask, how much does it weigh? Clouds don't like to talk about their weight. I don't know if you know that, but they're very concerned about talking about their weight. I'm just kidding. Clouds love to talk about their weight because they love how big they are. So guess how much a cloud weighs? The average cloud is about a ½ mile long. Guess how much it weighs? Scientists had to go up there and interview to find out. They came up with the scale and they weighed a cloud. Do you guys believe that? Do you think they went up to the sky with a scale and weighed a cloud? No, they totally didn't do that. But they were able to figure out, scientists at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, were able to figure out how much the average cloud weighs. So I want you guys to guess in pounds. How much do you think it weighs?
So you got a 2 pounds.
2 pounds. You guys think clouds are really light. All right, that's good.
It's almost 0 pounds.
All right, should we drum roll?
1 pound, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, drum roll, and the weight is?
Way more than that. 22 million pounds. That's how much an average cloud weighs, 22 million pounds. So there wouldn't be a scale big enough to take into the atmosphere and set a cloud on. What does 1 million pounds even looks like? It's hard to even think about 22 million pounds. So 1 million pounds is like 4.5 space shuttles. So that would be 4.5 space shuttles 22 times. That's how much a cloud weighs. or 71 school buses 22 times. That would be how much a cloud weighs. That is like a lot of school buses. I don't know if anyone could do 22 times 71, but that is a lot, right? I bet you guys didn't know that clouds were so heavy, but they're a combination, right, of not only H2O, but some ice, so frozen water, and other particulates. So when they get heavy, those clouds get really heavy, then water starts falling down, right? And it comes down as rain. And so what path the rain takes is really important. So if it takes the path of the trees are going to either, well, they're going to intercept it, right? And they're going to send the rain back into the atmosphere, or they're going to send the rain deep into the ground. But if instead, if the rain takes the path of your roof, then your roof is going to take the water and it's going to send it down your downspouts onto either a grass area or another hard surface. And the more hard surfaces the rain come in contact with, the more things that the rain picks up. And remember what Freddie said, only rain down the storm drain. But when it goes on your roof and it goes on your driveways, it picks up all the things that are there. So if you have any oil leaks, it'll pick those up. When it goes in your yard, if you use fertilizer or pesticides, it will pick those up and it will send it all down the storm drain. Stormwater, which is any, remember what Freddie said? Stormwater is any water that moves to the ground. So when it's on the ground, it's called stormwater, and it's the #1 reason why we have pollution in our water bodies. So you can't see at the bottom here, so I zoomed in, and what happens is, so it goes from your roof to your driveway to the storm drain, and then that storm drain has a pipe that sends it out to, like Freddie said, a creek or a lake or any water body. So here in Florida and in Sarasota County specifically, all of our stormwater goes to ponds, which engineers created, or canals, which were also created by engineers, or ditches, which were also created by engineers, or creeks, which are natural, that then take all that rainwater and move it to the Gulf. So again, what is stormwater? Stormwater is what scientists call the rain that has fallen to the ground. So all that rain that falls into a ground goes somewhere, and it all goes to one place, eventually the Gulf, right? But before it goes to the Gulf, we like to separate our landscape into something called watersheds. And a watershed is an area of land that drains to a stream or a common body of water such as a bay. So you can see a map of all of our watersheds. So I live up here. So this is Clark Road, this is Bee Ridge, this is Fruitville. I live right below Fruitville, like somewhere around over here. So I live in North Roberts Bay. So North Roberts Bay is where Philippi Creek is. So Philippi Creek takes all the water and takes it to what we call as Roberts Bay. If you live up here in the downtown area or Longboat Key, then all the water that falls on your roof or your driveway or your sidewalks, it's all gonna end up in Sarasota Bay. So what we do is we name our watersheds after the body of water that's gonna collect all of the water. If you live out east, then all of the water from your roof, from your sidewalks, from your roads is gonna end up in the Myakka River. So we call that the Myakka River watershed. Look how big that watershed is. It's huge, right? It's way bigger than all the other watersheds combined. That's because Myakka River is a huge river. If you live in Little Sarasota Bay, that in this watershed, so 75 and south of Clark Road, if you guys are familiar with directions, then all that water would go to Little Sarasota Bay. Let's look at that in more detail. All right, so if we remember that the water drains into one of these things from that poster, then what do these things look like? So let's pretend we're flying in a plane, and this is what this picture is on the right. If you're flying in the plane, this is what you would see out your window. So you can see all these water bodies. Let me see if I can get a tool. Oops. I don't know if this is gonna work, but this is a stormwater pond. So these are something that an engineer created in order to capture all that stormwater from all these roofs, right? And so it goes into a pipe, and then it will go to Philippi Creek eventually, or to where this one's gonna go is called Catfish Creek. So we're gonna zoom out even further, if I can. So here we are even further out. So all those stormwater ponds connect and they all go to this creek, Catfish Creek. So we can call this area the Catfish Creek Watershed, and that would be a small watershed. But then Catfish Creek actually goes into Little Sarasota Bay, and so do all these other creeks. They all flow into Sarasota Bay. So we actually call the watershed Little Sarasota Bay Watershed. And you can see all those dark blues are all those stormwater ponds that engineers created. They're all connected to move stormwater to Little Sarasota Bay. And then if we zoom out even further, this is what the Little Sarasota Bay Watershed looks like. So you can see all those light blues are the stormwater ponds, and all the lines are the creeks and the canals that are used to move stormwater from the landscape to Little Sarasota Bay. So that's how the water gets from your roof and your driveway and your sidewalk all the way to the bays. It takes these waterways. So can you use this map to figure out which watershed you live in? And if not, that's okay, because you're going to become a stormwater sleuth. And as a stormwater sleuth, you're going to try to figure out where your stormwater goes and what watershed it goes into. All right, so I'm going to get prepared to go outside, and I will talk to you more about becoming a stormwater sleuth.
All right, and while we wait for Agent Abby to set up, please answer a poll. So let me share my screen. Okay, if you could live in any watershed in the world, which would it be? The Amazon River Basin, the largest drainage system in the world. The total length of the river from headwaters to mouth is at least 4,000 miles, which is the distance from New York City to Rome. Wow. Or would you live in this watershed, the Okavango River Basin, one of Africa's richest places for animal life and home to the world's largest remaining elephant population, as well as keystone populations of lions, cheetahs, wild dogs, and, oh, I can't see it. It's a little bit cut off. Let me see if I can move this. Lions, cheetahs, wild dogs, and hundreds of species of birds. Or would you live in number 3, Colorado River Basin? This scenic river no longer discharges to the Gulf of California. Instead, it serves as drinking water for 30 million people throughout Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, and other cities. And 70% is used for 3.5 million acres of cropland. All right, so if you could live in any watershed, which would it be? Let me go ahead and share this poll, and you tell me. Would you want to live in Amazon River Basin, Okavango River Basin, or Colorado River Basin? All right, we have answers rolling in. It looks like it's a fair race right now. Oh, I think Amazon River Basin is pulling into the lead. I'm going to end that poll in just a few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll share those results. It looks like Amazon River Basin won the race. Okay, but that's really cool. Okavango River Basin and Colorado River Basin also seem like a great place to live. Okay. All right, we are ready for Agent Abby. She may still be setting up.
I hope everyone can hear me, although I can't see what I'm showing you. I see that you can hear me. Awesome. Now I just have to be able to see what I'm showing you. Here we go. Awesome. All right, so Stormwater Sleuth. You know, sleuth is just another name for an investigator. Let me turn this around so you can see me. Sleuth is just another name for an investigator. So you're going to go around and become a stormwater sleuth. And my papers are flying away. So to become a stormwater sleuth, you have to take a walk around your house or your building or wherever you live. And so here I'm standing outside of my house and I'm going to investigate where my rainwater goes. So the first thing I need to do is look for trees, because remember, trees are the things that intercept the water. So the more trees you have, the better. So let me turn around and you can see all the trees. All right, so I first tally up my trees. So I've got one big palm, and these little palms. And then I have, if I turn it around very slowly, I have these 2 trees. So I'd tally up 1, 2, 3, 4 trees. So I would say 4 trees. And I'm going to share with you a sheet that I have that will show you exactly what you do with those tallies. So I've got 4 trees. And then the next thing I look for is how many garden beds do I have? Because garden beds will not take, it will take water and it will not move it to the street. So just like trees won't move water to the street, garden beds won't do that. So then I count my garden beds. See, I've got 1 here. I've got 1 where the trees were. And then I have 1 over there. So I've got 4 garden beds. So now I've got 4 garden beds and 4 trees. And now the next thing I look for are what within those garden beds would allow water to move to the ground. So that's called a storm drain. So I don't have any downspouts. You guys, so I can't even show you what a downspout is, but it's the thing that connects your roof to the ground through a spout. And then you would look to see where they go. So I don't have that. My roof goes, all the water falls into this rock bed, and the rock bed is there so that the water can infiltrate into the ground. So it goes into the ground instead of moving off to the street. But when you do this stormwater sleuth, you want to look to see where your downspouts are, and you want to make sure that they're pointed somewhere that the water is going to go into the ground and not onto a hard surface. So finally, what I would do then, and I did this morning when it was raining, is I followed the water from my sidewalk. So you see my sidewalk, and I just watched the water move, and I followed it street.
All right, it looks like
Yeah,
Agent
that's soil because water goes. Am I back?
You are back.
Stormwater sleuths, your job is to figure out where your stormwater goes. Like I said, I traced my stormwater down my sidewalk all the way to the road, and then I followed it in the road all the way to the storm drain. Once I got to the storm drain, I had to figure out where is that storm drain going. And I found that it goes to a little canal that leads to the Philippi Creek. And since it goes to the Philippi Creek, I know that I'm in the Philippi Creek Watershed, which drains to North Roberts Bay. So that's it, Stormwater Sleuths. I'll share with you all the information you need to do your own investigation at your home. Bye-bye. Take it away, Juliana.
Great job, Agent Abby. Agent Abby shared with us some great investigative skills. You can investigate where the rain goes and also share with us your investigation. So let me share my screen so we can continue on and I can tell you how to share your skills. Okay, so do you want to become a stormwater sleuth? First, think about and predict where your rainwater goes after it falls on your property. Then, go outside and explore in the rain. With an adult, follow the water that leaves your driveway. Compare that to where the water goes when it falls onto soil or plants like grass, flower beds, and trees. What is the difference? Is one better than the other? Next up, Agent Sarah will give us a great idea for how to enhance our skills by making a rain gauge. Take it away, Agent Sarah.
All right. Woohoo! I hope to see some storm water sleuths this week. That sounds super exciting. So I'm going to open my screen, share, and here we go. So we're talking all about water this week. Let's get it on. There we go. And who likes to play in the water? I'm sure a lot of you have been splashing around in puddles or sometimes running outside if it's raining and it's not thundering. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to delve more in depth to water, I'm the 4-H agent and we investigate and work on hands-on learning type projects. So there's actually a 4-H soil and water project. So super exciting, lots of opportunities. You can get your hands wet or dirty and investigate where the water goes and what type of soil is there as well. So Dr. Abby talked a little bit about rainfall, and you all guessed, or some of you guessed, about how much rain falls in Florida, about 60 inches. But how much rain falls in your yard? Let's find out and measure. We're gonna use a rain gauge. A rain gauge is an instrument that measures rainfall. Scientists use gauges to collect data, and you right there in your living room or wherever you are in your house can make your very own rain gauge to investigate rainfall in your backyard. So, calling all hydrologists out there, scientists that study water, scientists, outdoor investigators, or just adventurers, let's make a rain gauge. It's pretty easy. You just need a few easy supplies. You may have a few things even in your recycling bin. It's best to use a clear plastic water bottle, 1 or 2 liters in size. You can find these almost in just about any recycling bin. You need some scissors, a Sharpie pen, masking tape or other tape to mark your bottle with, measuring tape or ruler, and then some sand, small rocks or shells to add to the base so it doesn't blow away, and to make the bottom of your rain gauge pretty level. Oh, there's a Lego eating creature on the screen. Let's hope he doesn't eat my rain gauge. Rain gauge steps. So you're gonna take your water bottle, you'll remove any labels, you're gonna cut off the top of the water bottle in an even line below kind of where the bottle starts to narrow. The top of the bottle is gonna actually be flipped over inside and back inside the bottle to act like a funnel. You'll place some sand, rocks, or shells at the bottom and evenly across, and you'll mark the end of the sand on the water bottle so that to mark the bottom of the rain gauge. You'll add a little bit of water to the sand, or if you use rocks or pebbles or shells at the bottom, just to that bottom mark. And then you'll set the bottle on a level surface and wait for it to rain. So here's step-by-step visuals. So you're gonna cut the top half of your water bottle, you're gonna flip it and put it in the inside so it acts like a funnel. And if you can work with a smaller water bottle too if you don't have one that's 1 or 2 liters. Then you can see that I added a little bit of sand to the bottom. That's gonna act as a little bit of a weight so that your water bottle doesn't blow away, but you could put a crushed shell or pebbles or little rocks at the bottom there just so it doesn't fly away. And then the bottom of water bottles are actually a little uneven. So filling it with some type of substrate like sand or rocks helps level our bottom measurement line. So then I've put a piece of tape here, and then I drew a line right at the bottom of the top of the sand, filling the bottle here. So you can see where I've marked with my Sharpie right at the ruler, and that's the 0. That's where you're gonna line up your 0, your ruler or your measuring tape. And then you'll make little marks. You'll make little marks on your tape there on your rain gauge. So I've done it in inches, although some scientists use the metric system, which you can also do, but this is inches, and I've marked each inch and then each 1/4 of an inch on the tape there. And then you pour a little bit of water just to that bottom line mark. So that kind of helps level the bottom of the gauge. So then you're sure to get a more accurate measurement. So you pour just a little bit of water to make the sand wet. And then, oh, looks like somebody may already have a rain gauge, or you're doing it right as we speak. And then you set it outside in a level area. So think about safety. Work with an adult to find an appropriate location for your rain gauge somewhere in your open yard. If you make more than one, you can have an experiment and see which area of your yard may have more rainfall than the other. You want to place it outside before it rains. Wait until the rain is done to check your gauge. You want to make sure that you stay inside during thunderstorms because it's not a good idea to be outside when there's thunder and lightning. Record your data and track how much rainfall. We want to see your photos of your rain gauge, so we're super excited to see it. Here is the one that I made, and I've set it out. You're going to set it outside, or I set it outside this morning to take a photo, and we'll see if it rains today. So I've got some other resources and links on this PowerPoint. I'll be sure to share them in the chat, but you also have access to this in our Dropbox. But there's a lot of cool information through University of Florida, all about water and rain gauges and lots of opportunities to investigate rain in your backyard. Thank you so much, and we hope to see some rain gauges this week.
Excellent job, Agent Sarah. Agent Sarah taught us how to make a rain gauge. That is your second opportunity to share your skills. All right, so let me share my screen. All righty. Skillshare number 2 is to make a rain gauge. Make your own rain gauge as introduced by Agent Sarah. Take a picture, draw a picture, or write a summary of the methods and results. How much does it rain during one rain event? It's time for another poll. Tell us, how much water does the average home roof, 2,000 square feet, collect in a 1-inch rainstorm? Is it 625 gallons of water, 1,250 gallons of water, or is it 2,500 gallons of water? So now let me share our third poll. Okay, how much water does a 2,000 square foot roof collect in a 1-inch rainstorm? What do we think? 1, 2, or 3?
Sorry, I was just going to say that if you think about that rain gauge that Agent Sarah just told you about, and you collected 1 inch of water in that rain gauge, how much over that 1-inch rain event does your roof collect? So it's going to be in those gallons. So even though your rain gauge says 1 inch, your roof is going to collect so many gallons of water. And I see answers coming in.
Thank you for that clarification, Agent Abby. All right, so we do have answers coming in. I will give you 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're ending that poll and sharing the results. It looks like it was B, that one, 1,250 gallons of water.
And that is correct. Good job.
Awesome. Good job, everyone. Okay. Let's wrap things up with a wellness tip from Agent Cassidy. Take it away, Agent Cassidy.
All right, hello everybody. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Thumbs up. All right. Thank you. All right. So today we are going to learn about exercise. Exercise is all about moving your body and getting your heart pumping. So I want you guys to type in the chat box some exercises that you guys like to do. All sports count as exercise. Dancing, swimming, yoga, all different types of sports. But there are other ways to get moving without playing a sport. For example, walking your dog, climbing a tree, or playing tag outside are all great types of exercise. So let's do some right now. Can everybody stand up, and spread your arms out to the side like this. All right. Once you do that, spin in a circle. Make sure you have enough room to do this. All right, we're going to do what we call jumping jacks. So if you don't know what that is, put your arms by your side and put your feet together and then jump into a star. All right, and we're going to do 4 more of those to make 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good job, everybody. I love seeing your jumping jacks. Now we're going to do an arm exercise. You're going to put your arms out again, and we're going to spin them in little circles just like this. Now, while we're doing this, let's talk about why exercise is important. One reason is because it's really good for our hearts. Exercise makes our hearts stronger and better at pumping blood through our whole bodies. Another reason is that exercise releases this chemical called endorphins inside our bodies. And that chemical makes us feel happy and helps us let go of stress and bad emotions that we might be holding on to. So if you ever feel sad, try going outside and exercising. All right, we can put our arms down now. So let's stretch them out. We're going to do a stretch by making a stop sign with our hands like this. So make your stop sign and put it across your body. Now you're going to hold it there with your other arm on your elbow. All right, this is called an arm stretch. So let's focus on doing this arm stretch, because focusing on your exercise is what helps let go of those bad emotions that you might have felt before you started exercising. So let's close our eyes and count to 5 and really think about stretching our arms. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good job, everybody. Let's switch arms. We're going to make a stop sign with our other arm. Hold across our body and hold it there with our other hand. So to keep ourselves and our heart healthy, it is best to try to exercise for at least 1 hour every single day. You do not have to do that all at once. You can do 15 minutes of running, 15 minutes of swimming, 15 minutes of playing, however you want to break it up. But during that 1 hour, whenever you do that, you have to make sure you do one very important thing. And that one very important thing is drinking water. It's because it's Florida and it's so super hot in Florida. So we need to make sure to stay hydrated. And, or else, if we don't stay hydrated, we could possibly get hurt. And we do not want that. So make sure to drink water. All right, we can shake our arms out now. So there are 3 things to remember from this wellness tip. First is try to exercise for at least 1 hour a day and get our body moving. Second is to drink water. And third is to have fun. Exercise is supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to make you happy. So I want you guys to enjoy it. So I challenge you to go outside today and exercise and send us a picture of you guys doing it or put it in the Dropbox. All right, back to you, investigators team.
Nice job, Agent Cassidy. We learned so much about exercise and why it's important. And that brings us to our 3rd Skillshare for the week. All righty. So our 3rd Skillshare number 3, stretch and exercise for your health. As taught by Agent in Training Cassidy, take a picture of you stretching or exercising and send it to us. All right, now it's time to chat. All righty, so is there anyone who would like to chat with us?
I see some heads shaking now. I see some heads shaking, yes. But we never get to hear Sulof. I see someone, Evan says, why not? Why not chat? So we have a couple questions for you today. Our first question is, what was your favorite watershed? I know that some of you were saying how they went to Africa. Maybe some of you have been to the Amazon.
Yep.
That's amazing. But those are amazing watersheds, aren't they? So remember, a watershed is a land area that collects all the water and sends it to the body of water that they're named after. So the Amazon River is where all that water goes. The Okavango Delta is where all that water goes. And the Colorado River is where all the water goes. So what was your favorite? Who wants to start? I see Django Fett with his hand up. And then I see Madison. Go ahead, Django / Colin.
I like the Amazon watershed the best because I've actually been there.
Cool. Yeah, and it's like the biggest in the whole entire world. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Madison, what about you?
I like the Okavango.
The Okavango, yeah, because it had all those elephants. It has like the largest population of elephants. How cool is that? So we need to make sure that's protected. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Can anyone now name the body of water that their roof and driveway and sidewalks receive after it rains? Like, what body of water does all that rain go to? Do any of you live around a pond or a lake? Oh, I see that Alexis might live around something. Alexis, what do you live around? Where does all your roof water and driveway water go to?
Philippi Creek.
The Philippi Creek. All right. So you could say the Philippi Creek Watershed, or we know the Philippi Creek drains into a bay, right? So it's the name of that bay, which is Roberts Bay. Evan, what about you?
We live right next to Philippi Creek, so probably Philippi Creek.
Definitely. So all your roof water, driveway water, grass water that the grass doesn't take up ends up in Philippi Creek. All right. Anybody else? All right. Awesome job. So did anyone make a bird feeder last week? I actually saw a lot of great bird feeders. Ian made some really terrific bird feeders. I got his picture. I wonder if anything other than squirrels were eating your guys' bird feeders. Did anyone get birds visiting their bird feeders? Oh, all right. Madison and her brother got birds. Do you guys know what kind?
Cardinals.
Awesome. Philip, can we hear you today? Do you want to try talking?
Yes.
We can hear you. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Tell us about, well, first, did you want to tell us what watershed you liked the best?
No.
No. What did you want to tell us?
First, I wanted to tell exercise movement.
What'd you say?
First, I wanted to feel what exercise.
Oh, you like the exercise? Awesome. Do you know what watershed your roof water goes to? Like what body of water? Does it go to a lake or a river or spring or the, you know what? You could always say the Gulf of Mexico because everything ends up there. Are you getting the answers from your mom? That's good. Moms know a lot. They're the best. Okay, so who else did you do a bird feeder? Who else wants to share about their bird feeder? Adeline, you want to share? You did a bird feeder, didn't you? And what ate the seed? Do you remember what kind of bird that was?
No. Oh. A mockingbird ate my bird feeder. I didn't get to see it, but
I did.
my mom and my brother said that he saw one eating, but I was looking out my window, but I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, great job. So we made bird feeders awesome. And to this week, I hope that you guys all make rain gauges. All right, so what we're gonna do to conclude this meeting is we're gonna make it rain. Okay, have you guys ever done this before in class? Maybe, maybe not. So what we're gonna do is if your first name begins with a letter that comes before M, you're called group 1. Okay, if your first name begins with a letter that begins after M in the alphabet, you're going to be group 2. So we're just going to do 2 groups. So I'm group 1, and so is Adeline because our names start with A. Agent Sarah is group 2, but her daughter Alexis is group 1. So it's going to be really confusing for you guys and totally awesome. So what you need to do is you need to take mute off. We're gonna make it rain with our bodies. You ready? Basically just our hands mostly. All right, so what we're gonna do is if you're in group 1, so your first name begins with a letter that's in the alphabet below M, you're gonna start going like this, making some wind action. All right, so you're gonna do it and keep it going. All right, now group 2, you're gonna go ahead and start that. Go ahead and start making some wind action. I wanna hear it. Ooh, I can hear it, sounds good. All right, now group 1, you're gonna stop doing that and you're gonna start snapping. All right, group 2. Now you're going to start snapping. You can snap however you want. It's drops, right? All right, now group 1, you're going to start patting your lap. Group 2, go ahead and pat. All right, group 1, go back to rubbing. Faster. All right, group 2, go back to rubbing. You were supposed to keep patting, group 2. All right, group 1, snap. Group 2, snap. Group 1, pat.
No, I just heard.
Group 2, pat. Group 1, rub hard. Faster. Group 2, faster. Rub. Group 1, snap. Faster. Group 2, snap. Faster.
I give up.
Group 1, pat. Now we need some thunder. Woo! All right, you guys. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded like a rainstorm on this end, and I can't wait to send you the recording so that you can hear it on your end. So you guys, today we've learned so much, right? We learned that rain is really important. It's really light. It's made out of H2O, right? Hydrogen, so it can float into the air. It gets heavy up there, right? Right? Rain clouds weigh a lot. Once it gets so heavy, it starts falling down as rain here. Some places it snows, but we just don't get that. And then once it moves to the ground, it has all these different pathways. It could be intercepted by a tree, it could be intercepted by your gardens, or it can go right onto your roof and create lots of gallons of water. It could go to your driveway, and eventually it all ends up into the Gulf of Mexico, doesn't it? So we got to do all that we can to protect the water in our yards so that we don't take all that pollution. Remember our Freddy the fish? Everyone sing it. Only rain down the storm drain. Only rain down the storm drain. Awesome. So when you become a sleuth, go look at your storm drain. Is there only rain in there? I think you're going to find out that there's a lot of other things. So maybe you could be a leader in your neighborhood and stop people from sending other things down the storm drain. All right, so let's wrap it up. Juliana, will you take on the next slide? So we can remind everybody that you couldn't be an investigator. Some of you are so close. All you have to do is share one of the 3 things that you could share today because you've been to all of the 3 workshops. I know one parent asked me for a video, and I'm working on that. So you can let them know I'm totally working on that video for them for the first week. All right, next slide. All right, so you have 3 opportunities. You can become a stormwater sleuth. I'm gonna send you the worksheet if you wanna actually tally up the number of trees, gardens, etc. Or you could just go out and when it rains with a parent and follow the water to find out where it goes. You can make your own rain gauge and then show it to us. That would be awesome. And then don't forget to stretch and exercise for 1 hour a day, just like Agent Cassidy taught us. So you could share that with us too. So 3 ways to share this week. And then you will get your awesome package in the mail. We can't wait to send it to you. So I think that's it. You guys rock for joining us this summer. We had such a fun time with you this summer. Thank you so much for coming.